All right, guys. So Jared Kushner may finally get what he has coming to him. So the biggest story about him that has really stuck in my mind, and I'm sure all of your guys' minds for a while now, is that he took $2 billion from Saudi Arabia for his finance business. And let's just say I'm sure there are strings attached to that, right? That's not something that just happens. A foreign government forks over $2 billion for this shitty fail son. Okay, so look at this. Top Democrat officially launches investigation into billions received by Jared Kushner's firm from the Middle East. So by the way, it's not just Saudi Arabia, as we're about to get into. Senator Ron Wyden, of the chair of the Senate Finance Committee, officially opened an investigation into former President Trump's son-in-law and White House aide Jared Kushner. Kushner has long been under fire for pocketing billions in investments for his firm. Affinity partners from countries he worked closely with during his time in the White House, including Saudi Arabia. Wyden sent a letter to Affinity Partners Chief Financial Officer Lauren Key saying that Kushner received funding from Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar, created, quote, significant conflicts of interest and potential counterintelligence risks. In a statement, Wyden also said his Wednesday letter sought records and information pertaining to the tens of millions in payments Kushner is receiving from the Saudis and other foreign sources every year while exploiting private investment fund disclosure loopholes to shield the arrangement from public scrutiny. Oh, well, isn't that interesting? So you're trying to use legal loopholes to hide it from further scrutiny. Gee, I wonder why. The letter also noted that the firm's reliance on foreign investors raises concerns that Middle Eastern governments are using payments to Affinity executives as a means to influence Kushner and other politically powerful individuals. Kushner repeatedly raised eyebrows during his time in the White House over his close relationship to Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who boasted in 2018 that Kushner was in his pocket, according to multiple reports. Kushner also sought and received an investment from Qatar into a distressed New York asset while in the White House. Jesus, Kushner played a key role in negotiations during the Gulf states' blockade of Qatar around the same time as he received the investment. Let me break this down further for you. There were reports when Kushner was in the White House and he was a staffer for Trump. There were reports that he was giving Saudi Arabia classified information. He was leaking them intelligence. And then MBS would use that domestically against his rivals. You guys remember that time where MBS locked up all of like these Saudi political elites in a hotel in Saudi Arabia? And it was like this a bunch of articles about it over here, like what the fuck is going on over there? And come to find out, speculation is the intelligence that Jared Kushner leaked him on that let him know who his enemies were, and so he took action, right? So it shouldn't be that surprising when he leaves office. MBS personally overturns the decision of other Saudi officials to say, no, we're going to give Jared Kushner that $2 billion because that's payback for the intelligence he was giving him. Not just that, look, I'd go further if I was Ron Wyden. Donald Trump himself has taken millions and millions of dollars from Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia started this breakaway golf league to try to take down the PGA Tour. It's called Live Golf. It's fully funded by Saudi Arabia. And a lot of these events are being hosted at Trump courses. How much money is Trump getting for every single event that happens at his course? How much money are they giving him? And do you really think they're giving him that money solely because they love his courses and this is totally pure and it's just a business transaction and that's the end of it? No, of course it's pay to play. Of course it's I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Remember, Trump didn't even give them a slap on the wrist when they murdered Jamal Khashoggi. Trump vetoed a bill that blocked the U.S. from arming Saudi Arabia as they were doing a genocide in Yemen. Trump was like, no, I'm pro-genocide and pro-Saudi Arabia. I'm going to veto that bill. It was Bernie Sanders and Mike Lee that got it passed, and then Trump said no. So there's a lot of sketchiness going on here, bro. There's a lot of sketchiness. Now, vis-a-vis Jared Kushner, it's only illegal because he was in the White House and doing favors for them, and it also might be for future pay-to-play type stuff. That's why it's illegal. If he wasn't in the White House, it's a totally different story. It would have just been, a very sketchy investment, sketchy business practices, but no actual crime committed. But they're saying we're going to look in to see if there's actually a crime being committed here because it's so brazen and so over the top and so ridiculous. And what I would say to people is this. You cannot be somebody on the right and start going after the likes of, Hillary and Bill Clinton for the Clinton Foundation and how corrupt that was. Hunter Biden for the Burisma thing and how corrupt that was with Ukrainian energy. You can't just talk about that and then not talk about this. That is political hackery 101. And by the way, I do not do the opposite. I do not only talk about the Saudi stuff and then don't talk about the Clinton Foundation and don't talk about Hunter Biden. All of this stuff is corrupt. All of this stuff is pay to play. All of this stuff is beyond the pale. All of this stuff are crimes, in my view. And this is a classic example of something that's gone so far. By the way, as a raw dollar figure, of course, this is way bigger corruption than anything we've ever seen before. And by the way, I find it hilarious whenever Trump campaigns and tries to pretend like he's anti-corruption. It's always the most hilarious thing. It's like, does he not realize we see the stories about him? We see the stories about his family. We see how out in the open the corruption is. He probably knows and just doesn't care. He just plows ahead. He's all about messaging. He's all about PR. So there you have it. But look, I hope they go further. I hope it's not just, an investigation from Congress. This is what I need the Biden DOJ to be doing also. I mean, guys, keep it real. I had no problem whatsoever with the Biden DOJ at the federal level going after Hunter Biden for whatever various crimes. And they did do that over the gun thing, right? Totally fine with that. But if you're not looking at this too, what a fucking waste. What a waste. This should go beyond just a congressional investigation. This has got to rise to the level of federal crimes. Because I've never seen more brazen corruption in my entire life. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.